I'll call the North Smithfield School Committee of September 24th, 2024 to order. Clerk, please call the roll.
Chair Lombardi.
Present.
Mrs. Mayo. Here. Mr. Connell.
Here.
Sada. Here. Mrs. Barmo. Here.
We have 5 present. We have a quorum. Let's move on to the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay. If there's no objection, I'd like to move item number 6, new business, up to right now. Memorial acknowledgement of Joseph A. Rossi at the North Smithfield High School. Discussion, vote, or other action. You need more? No, unless it's an objection. All right, yes. We're doing so. So I just wanted to acknowledge Tanya Rossi, who's here. Thank you for coming, and our condolence for the loss of your son. I know Joe's friends are here, some of Joe's friends. And we have two people who are going to speak on his behalf. But if I may just say a few words first. When I went to the vigil of Joseph, I learned that Joe impacted many lives, and he was in the apprentice program to be an electrician. I knew Joe to be a hardworking, respectful, and a person that you felt comfortable around. Joe came to the house and watched TV, and he was always smiling. Thank you for being here. And if anyone would like to speak, I know.
Hi, my name is April Lombardi, for those of you that don't know me. I'm here with North Smithfield High School senior Kaylee Salinaro. Kaylee and I will be working together for a senior project to establish the Joe Rossi Memorial Scholarship Fund that will benefit a graduating senior. I also want to acknowledge that today marks 1 month since we lost Joe in a tragic accident, and tomorrow is Joe's 21st birthday. So on behalf of Joe's family, I want to thank all of you for your support and your help to keep Joe's legacy alive in North Smithfield. I know Kat Reyes would like to say a few.
Thank you.
So if there's anyone that is deserving of having an award named after him, it was definitely Joe Rossi. I had the honor of being his coach for 4 years on the track team, both indoor and outdoor. So 8 seasons worth of coaching that young man, and just class act. The biggest thing about Joe is that he was always happy for everyone else. When they were successful, he was happy for them. And I think having a scholarship fund for him would be a beautiful way to show that he can still be happy for someone receiving an award. One little thing I just want to add is that Joe's faith was very important to him. He always wore a cross around his neck, and he spoke very highly of his faith in God. And he was just a wonderful young man. So I think he's very deserving of having anything in his honor. Thank you.
Thank you. Superintendent, did you, do you have any ideas on this?
So we we also wanted to honor Joseph more than the vigil, more than the scholarship. And so Chairman Lombardi asked if there was something else that we could do in Joseph's name. And so we talked about it at the high school, and today I went over with I took a walk with the assistant principal, Kim Rawson. She was saying that Joe was an outdoor guy. So we were thinking of something that can honor him outside. Um, so we went for a walk. And let me see if I can share my screen. Let's try that one. So when you leave the high school in the back and walk down towards the track, there is a small group of trees. And from here, from this spot here, you can look out and you can see the throwing area. You can turn a little bit to the right and you can see the courtyard of the high school, especially now that that's where we hold our graduations. But that was the Pumpkin Fest, sorry. And then you can look out towards the track and there's a path that leads right up there. And we were talking about the possibility of putting a standing in memoriam sign, either on granite or bronze, memorializing Joseph on that spot. So it's pretty much in the center of the campus, and it's where the students really just, when they leave the school and they're heading out to the fields, up to the track, that's where they pass. Anybody have any questions?
I think that that is a wonderful legacy for someone who is so sorely missed by his family, his friends, and the community as a whole. And I think that's a wonderful way to memorialize it.
Thank you.
We need to do anything tonight? I assume we probably need a vote. I know that the superintendent makes the recommendation, and I believe that we vote on it.
Yes, I would like to pursue putting something at that spot. Obviously, if his family is okay with it, and I can see from mom's face that I think it's okay. So, because mom agrees, all right, I would like to pursue putting something there.
All right, and that's in conjunction with the scholarship fund.
Yes. Question?
Question, I think it's a beautiful spot.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll entertain a motion. Does anybody else want to say anything?
I would just like to say, I think it's a wonderful senior project as well.
Yes. Please.
Agree.
I'll entertain a motion for the superintendent to proceed with the memorial acknowledgement of Joseph A. Rossi at the North Smithfield High School.
So moved.
Motion been made. Is there a second?
Second.
Second. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? The ayes have it. Thank you.
Thank you. You want to take a little
Yeah.
break?
We can recess for a few minutes. Okay, we're back on the record. We can move on to community and public comment. Kevin Carrier.
Members of the school board. My name is Kevin Carrier. I was born, raised, and now live in North Smithfield, Rhode Island with my wife. I received my master's in public policy and my PhD in psychology from Georgetown University. I am an assistant professor of psychology at Stonehill College, where I research the psychology of human rights, civil liberties, and social justice. I have published 23 peer-reviewed articles, 13 book chapters, 2 edited books, and 1 solo authored book. I am here because last month, a fellow town member who is speaking against pro-inclusivity policies within the schools stated, and I quote, "Proponents of this policy have nothing fact-based or data-driven on which to base any intellectual argument," end quote. I stand before you today to present fact-based and data-driven reasons on why you should continue to remain steadfast in your support for our transgender and gender diverse student body. Our nation's children are good children. They care. Yet a national sample of LGBTQ+ students show that 81% of these students reported feeling unsafe at school, which leads many to skip school due to these fears. Transgender youth are 200 to 300% more likely to experience sexual assault, sexual orientation, and gender-based bullying compared to their non-transgender peers. 12.5% of all transgender children were physically assaulted based on their sexual orientation or gender expression. Transgender girls, that is, individuals who were assigned male at birth but identify as female, are 148% more likely to experience sexual assault in bathrooms when forced to use a men's bathroom. This hate, this aggression is not innate within us. It is taught. It is taught by those who stand before you and claim that you have made bathrooms less safe. Peer-reviewed research shows that while cisgender girls, that means they identify with the gender they were assigned with at birth, and cisgender boys show no difference in their perception of safety within bathrooms. Transgender children report feeling significantly less safe using public bathrooms than both. In actuality, research shows that our cisgender women report feeling more welcomed and safer in climates with gender inclusive, not exclusive, bathrooms. Another study examined over 7,000 transgender youths and found that even after accounting for race, age, gender assigned at birth, sexual identity, and basic gender-based discrimination events in their lives, transgender students who experience being restricted in their ability to access the bathroom that corresponded with their gender identity were 40% more likely to contemplate suicide, 67% more likely to attempt suicide, and 71% more likely to attempt suicide multiple times. Let me say that again. Restricting a child's ability to use a bathroom that they identify with increases the odds that they will attempt suicide by 71%. Due to time, this brings me to my final point. This past year at the Olympics, we saw a woman, born female, who identifies as female, has spent her whole life as a female identifying woman, maliciously attacked because people had misidentified her as a man. The public cannot identify an adult's gender, never mind a child. That is a personal, life-changing, painstakingly difficult process that takes time to work through. If we wish to start judging people based on the bone structure of their face or the elongation of one's nose, we are only a few steps away from racial eugenics, from biological racism, of starting to claim that head size correlates with intelligence, and more completely debunked racist, inaccurate beliefs. These policies have saved lives. You save lives. Thank you for creating and maintaining a safe and welcoming space for children by putting life over politics. Thank you.
Lisa Lopes?
Good evening. Thank you for the opportunity to say a few words. My name is Lisa Lopes, and I am here tonight on behalf of the World Council for Health and all the children in your school district. As a former school-based speech pathologist, I stand before you to address an issue that is extremely important to me and profoundly impacts the health, well-being, and academic success of our children, and that is the food we serve in our schools. Every day, children rely on us, the adults, to provide them with meals that nourish their bodies and minds. Yet the vast majority of what is being fed to school-age children does neither. Most of it is highly processed and offers zero nutritional value and actually hinders their ability to develop, think, attend, and thrive within the school environment. Don't believe me? Look at the data. Schools love data. And I think if we look at the data, we can see that studies and statistics are showing that more and more children are requiring special education services, more and more children are diagnosed and then put on subsequent medication for ADHD. We've seen an uptick in behavior problems within schools, children that have difficulty regulating their emotional well-being, an increase in mental health difficulties, neurodevelopmental disorders, a rise in obesity rates, a rise in diabetes. I could keep going. But if we want to look at just academic growth in children. 9-year-olds had the largest score decline in reading since 1990. 13-year-olds had the largest decline ever in math. The downward trend began in 2012. We are failing, no matter the metric we look at. If we want our students to thrive, which all of the parents and educators that I have worked with want, then we must prioritize their nutrition. Nutrition is often an overlooked piece of this dismal puzzle. And so tonight I ask you to commit to acknowledging that what we are giving our children to fuel their growth and their development is actually harming it. I implore you to commit to creating change. As the adults, we are the ones in charge of our children's health and well-being, and we need to do better. And I just imagine, a program that actually nourishes our bodies, that combines local food, fresh food, instead of continuing to provide chemical-laden breakfasts and, highly filled with sugar food that we're currently serving. Change is possible. It's just a matter of committing to a healthier school environment that supports and fosters our children's development. So let's work together to provide our children with the nourishment they deserve to ensure that they have bright, healthy, promising futures.
Thank you.
Thank you. I would just like to introduce Dr. Brody as well, a colleague also from the World Council for Health.
It's going to be a little more off the cuff. So I'm a graduate of Columbia University College of Physicians and Surgeons. I've been in practice for over 34 years. I'm currently practicing under health freedom law due to my outspoken stance about certain health matters. You might guess what those are. But in any case, I'm the director of the New England chapter of the World Council for Health. World Council for Health is a volunteer organization. It's international, has over 44 member nations, and we're just in the process of developing a United States chapter, which is going to be organized regionally. We're committed to improving health internationally, and it was founded by Tess Laurie, who's a physician, formerly a consultant to the WHO, who founded it because she became aware that the WHO had abandoned its mission of promoting health worldwide. Right now, we're seeing an epidemic of health problems in this country, particularly in young children with obesity, metabolic disorders, diabetes, cardiac problems, neurologic problems, autoimmune disorders. The number of children who are sick now compared to, say, 40, 50 years ago is astronomically larger. And what are the schools doing to help children learn healthy nutrition patterns? We're offering to help. And Lisa has developed a great program here to assist schools. We're going to bring it to other schools in Rhode Island. Any takers, we'd be happy to offer our services for free to help educate your children, or at least create programs so they know the basics of nutrition and do not eat the kinds of foods and toxins that are making them sick. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, let's move on to the consent agenda. Superintendent, you want me to pull off item number 11? Yes, please. Does anybody else want anything taken off?
Yes. Can we discuss number 5A? And then B, number 6, D, and F.
So we'll discuss, you want me to pull them off to discuss? And
Yeah,
then
please.
we'll, if you want us to vote separately, we can do that.
Sure.
All right. So, yeah, excuse me. All right, so superintendent, I don't know, say 5A, right?
5A,
Can we discuss 5A?
graduation requirement.
Mm-hmm.
So
I know I had taken issue, that last year, my first year, concerning the foreign language.
Mhm.
That we have here, that we have 2 years and then it will be an absolute requirement for graduation.
Unless there's a readiness pathway which can bypass the foreign language.
Okay, so what is that pathway? Because I looked through the link and I was looking to see what ride,
You want to,
what would that look like? Would it just be an elective, or what are we looking at that would fulfill that requirement?
So readiness pathway, and we'll probably call Dr. Burns up here because we just had a very intense meeting around the graduation requirements.
Okay.
And it is, the readiness pathway accepts that not all students are going directly to college.
Correct.
That there are students who are going to be doing CTE programs, career programs, and there is an option if I have the new regs correct, that a foreign language could be waived to make room in the schedule for these career type of programs. Dr. Burns, come on up. I promise not to zoom the camera in on you, so.
Thank you.
See, I have to be here all.
Sorry. So we have been talking about, for students that want to waive the world language requirement, they are not interested in going to a four-year college. We need to have a sequence of 2 courses that's approved by RIDE that provides work-based learning experience. We think that those courses could be, say, like drafting and robotics, or perhaps the student is very interested in art, or a student might be interested in marketing or a business course. And so we'll be working and applying to RIDE. It's a quick form that we have to fill out to make sure that it's a course sequence, 2 courses that will fulfill RIDE's requirement, but it is very broad, and I think it is intentionally broad.
Okay. All right, no, because that was my concern, because we've got class of 24, 25, 26, 27, world language kind of left open, and then class of 28 and beyond, they're putting in the 2 credits.
Mhm.
So will that change in 28?
28, yep, with
So
the,
they're going to first find on a student who's struggling through English, science, and math.
so there's a requirement for all students starting with this year's freshman class for a world language requirement, 2 credits, unless they want to go through the readiness pathway,
Okay.
which will be 2 other courses as long as there's real world based learning experience. And we think all of our courses offer that. And so we're looking forward to just getting our programs approved by RIDE. And then we're going to start, by October 1st, we will be emailing families with these new regulations.
I'm going to ask a question, which I probably have been told the answer to. With our CTE, the robotics, is that robotics open as an elective to any student? Or do you have to be in the CTE?
It is
program?
open to any student.
Just want to make sure. Okay. All right. That's that one. Thank you.
did you say 6 E and F?
D and F
D and F.
with the AI.
Yes.
So, and I didn't bring it up last time, but as I started looking into it and asking some questions, and I know we need to address it because it is here. And as I sent you an email, my concern is what platform, who's going to look at this platform, because it is information fed by somebody who may have a bias, who may have whatever it may be. So I don't know if it's a very broad policy and not like zeroing in that it has to be reviewed by somebody or something, just to police it.
Right, so there were two ways to approach this. There is a way to say, okay, let's block all AI types of sites. But honestly, that is impossible.
Correct.
So it is here, it is incredibly powerful. It's still in its infancy. Yes, many of us are still not just within education, but within society and technology, building the airplane while we fly it, because this is moving so fast. So what this policy is just a brief umbrella acknowledging that it's here and pushing for the ethical use of it. Now, what that means. Now, it's going to require a lot of retraining of our teachers. It's going to require training of the students because as you said, it's not always accurate and there are biases. And so there's a high degree of critical thinking that has to go into digesting and synthesizing any information that is provided by AI. It's going to have to change the way we do assignments and assessments. No longer do we have, can we say, okay, guys, go home, write a three paragraph essay on this topic, because you ask AI, it's there. So it's going to involve, yes, the research, the resources, but more of a work-based, show how you understand it, show how you can produce it, show how you can prove your understanding of the information you've been given. So again, it's not just ask AI a question, copy paste, turn it in, teacher gives you an A because it's brilliant. It's going to require more changes to instruction, to assess, and for assessment.
All right. Yeah, I think my concern was that it's so broad and that there, I don't know.
So
I agree, right? But the truth of the, I mean, we're grappling with it at the state level, across all state agencies. It's that big, and trying to really wrap your head around it. It's just, this is gonna take some huge learning curve because it's changing every single day. There's just a lot to.
tell me the benefits of using artificial intelligence in school.
Benefits of artificial intelligence in education. Artificial intelligence, AI, has the potential to revolutionize education.
So
There's an essay.
that's
There's an
built,
essay.
it's built into my phone.
Yeah.
You know, it's nothing that can be blocked. It's information there all the time.
Right, it's in the phone, it's everywhere
everywhere,
now, it's on
right.
my computer that I want, keep looking for settings to remove it,
Mm-hmm.
and you can't.
Yeah.
Um,
No, and I understand that as a photographer, it annoys me because people can generate amazing images through AI without having, you know, any talent in photography. But it's here and it's something that we have to learn to work
start to
with.
prepare for.
Yes.
So do we all get the eschool.news.com emails? Do you get them? Okay, they must have found me because I ran 2 years ago. So they have these tech events and future education on AI, October 1st, 2 o'clock. I can join the session, whatever. Which I may do, just to see exactly.
Adam Stanley has been doing training during our professional development days on use of AI in the classroom for our teachers.
Okay.
So
All right, that was, it's a concern, you know,
yeah.
my concern is, I mean, we can go back to what was her name, who just spoke, Mrs. Lopes,
Mhm.
concerning, you know, our kids obese and this and that.
Right.
They also don't go outside
Mhm.
because there's so much screen time.
Right.
And so it's a huge concern of mine. even find myself, when I read a book on a Kindle, I couldn't tell you the name of the book. If I had the book in my hand, I would know what I was reading.
Mhm.
So I struggle with that. And, I just need to know that there are safeguards and that somehow it's being policed and how it's being used, and definitely age appropriate again.
Mhm.
Only because I don't think our little ones need to start asking their computer these questions and what to do. But that's my concern, just so you know it.
And it's all of our concerns. We share it.
I don't even know if you can stop it, right?
I don't think you can. Like I said, I can't get it off. I'm hoping it doesn't become now this new marketing thing where they're going to have an educational program and we have to buy licensing for it and so forth.
Even if they did, they could still get it another way, so.
Another way.
I mean, at least I do feel somewhat encouraged that, you know, we actually, as a superintendent, a former tech director, someone who actually really, really gets technology and data. A lot of superintendents out there don't have that kind of background. So I find that as a plus for us here, because I know that it's something probably very, very clear on your mind as you're thinking about this.
I have nerd powers.
Yes.
Yes. I have an understanding. Yes.
That's it. I just wanted to,
Okay.
thank you.
I've noticed even, so I have Grammarly, that tries to help me with my grammar and everything. I don't write that. But anyway, so you can just hit the, now they get the button and it's free. AI rewrite my paragraph,
Mhm.
rewrites the paragraph perfectly.
We still have to, and Claire will tell you this, we still create the foundation for the kids. They have to know how to write.
Right.
Minus Grammarly. But like yourself, for myself, I really enjoy it because it's made my writing better. Not that it's rewriting for me, but it's telling me or reminding me of the common mistakes that I make. And so Grammarly doesn't pop up when I'm writing something as much because I'm learning to, adjust my writing, and I have mistakes that I make all the time, and I know Grammarly will yell at me, but I don't do it anymore.
I spoke to somebody this weekend who is a BCBA.
Mhm.
And he also was a little leery, but as he said, what he uses it for in his job was to ask for what other ways can I get through to this child?
Yes,
And so those ideas, and I see the benefit in that.
right.
I just don't know how, I understand from a teacher's perspective, how can I get through to this child? Some ideas, some lesson plans, whatever. But on the student side, they need to figure this stuff out
Yeah, and
before the computer tells them
and-
how to fix it.
and absolutely, I mean, as an invaluable tool for teachers, because we're now getting data systems where you don't have to be a computer programmer to get information out of it. You don't have to write scripts and queries. You can just ask it in plain language. Show me all third grade students who scored XYZ on this particular standard. And it will isolate them, and it's also can run in the background and track student progress and start helping the teacher with concepts and skills. So I mean, it's a powerful tool. Yes, and for students, a lot of it just goes into the cheating, copying, and pasting. That's where we all jump to. But again, there's many ways and techniques that use the information. It can get the information through AI, but how do you apply it? How do you synthesize it? What do you create out of it? And that's the next step for the kids.
Thank you. And, that, thank you. All right, and then item 11, acceptance of Kyle Kia's $4,000 grant for mental health awareness and suicide prevention.
Right, and if we could just ask Dr. Burns to step up to just tell you a little bit about the program and how it's being run at the high school and what
Great.
it's doing for the kids and what this grant means.
Hello. I am really excited to bring this grant to the North Smithfield community through the partnership with Kyle Cares. Last year, we met Mr. Jim Johnson, who is the founder of the Kyle Cares organization. He's a gentleman who lost his son, who died by suicide several years ago. And since then, he and his family have made it their life's mission to try to help other families avoid a tragedy like this by working with schools to raise awareness for mental health. And so we met Mr. Johnson last year, and he came to the school. He met with a number of administrators and school counseling staff, and we all loved him. We thought he was great. And the great thing about Kyle Cares is it's a student-driven organization. And so we worked with our student body, and several students came forward and wanted to be representatives for North Smithfield High School to be advocates of mental health in our community. They attended a full-day leadership summit at Rhode Island College, and then they came back and with the lessons they've learned, they planned a week full of mental health activities. And it was great because we were able to tie this to our school improvement plan. One of our priority areas is decreasing chronic absenteeism. And we know from a number of different indicators and data that mental health is a reason that students name as a reason why they miss school. And so we were able to tie this initiative directly to our school improvement plan and partner with the athletic director. So there are activities all day, every day, just different things from Zen dens during SAA periods to even a petting zoo, therapeutic petting zoo, a wonderful guest speaker. We passed out green bandanas to every student. It was just a really active, exciting week. And then every afternoon, our athletes wore green jerseys, and we encouraged fans to wear green. We had green out games because we happened to have home games every single week that week. So it was a full community effort. And then after we invited Mr. Johnson back, and we debriefed with him on all we had done with Kyle Cares and through the initial meeting with him. And he had awarded a $1,300 grant initially to get our student group started. And he contacted us over the summer and said that we were one of 5 high schools chosen to receive a $4,000 grant. So we're really excited. We've already had 2 meetings this year. And yeah, we're looking forward to seeing what our students can think up this year.
Excellent, excellent.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Great. Thank you. Superintendent, anything else?
I think you can vote.
Mr. Chair,
Yeah,
I'm sorry,
of course.
one question, I'm gonna take it off, I just saw, because I was talking actually to Ms. Marcotte this afternoon, but I think it's more directed to Claire. Just on item 7, further funding for the Brain String Right to Read Act, and again, I was looking at the bills this afternoon more than this, but we were talking about dealing. Are we, how far are we away from reaching being in compliance with the act? And I know, for the record, a lot of schools are behind. No school, I don't think, is compliant with it fully,
So
but.
we're making progress.
Yep.
The law was passed in July 2019 that all educators had to comply with the right to read, science of reading. And it depends if the educator, depending on what their certification is, if they have to do awareness or versus proficiency. Awareness is about 10 hours of training, and we will be finished with that for all educators. The proficiency is taking longer. So the proficiency is about 60 hours of training for every educator. And we decided to use the Orton Gillingham training, which is pretty intense. And so all of our elementary teachers, all of our special education teachers, our reading teachers are all trained in this. It's expensive, but we luckily were able to pay for it, fund it through the ESSER funds, and also Title II, which is for professional development, as well as some local funding, but really not much local funding. And so as far as a timeline, it's one of those things that we're never going to be 100% because we'll get new teachers that come into our district. And even if someone comes in that has a right to read training, we may go ahead and train them in or in Gillingham, especially if they are a special education teacher. It's because that's the program, or those are the strategies that we're using with our students, but we'll never be 100%, because as soon as someone leaves or retires, we're hiring someone new, and then not necessarily guaranteed to have all of the training, retire from outside of Rhode Island. The Rhode Island public colleges are ensuring that students have the training, but not all new hires will have that. So it's ongoing, but with the majority of our teachers are trained.
Thank you.
Let's take a motion to pass the consent agenda as presented.
So moved.
Motion's been made. Is there a second?
Second.
Second. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? The ayes have it. Moving on to reports, Superintendent.
All right, so every September, what we do is we just sort of go through with the school committee, the goals and priorities for the year. Now, these goals and priorities are pretty much taken directly from our district strategic plan. And so these are highlights of what's in the plan for this year. And it also incorporates, we have the district strategic plan, and every school has their plan. So they're all together as a collective. So just to give you an overview of what we have going on this year, and they're broken into 5 different categories. And the first category is high standards, quality instruction, curriculars, and student success. And within the high quality curriculum implementation, and I'll turn things over to Claire if, as you need more detail. She's already just spoken about the Right to Read Act, which is the science of reading. And we have new mathematics, social studies, and science curriculum being rolled out right now. Student academic proficiencies. And of course, we focus on all subject areas, but there's always that core English language arts and mathematics, because that's on the RICAS test. And really, it's the English and math are foundation for pretty much everything else. And to assist with that, we have a lot of initiatives going on, but we're also streamlining, codifying our multi-tier system of support for students. And again, it's not all intervention, but we also want to help kids with acceleration. It's not just keeping up with it or learning, but if they get it, let's get to the next level before, and not hold you back. So, and then we put in additional assessment and data systems. They're doing a lot of work with data, again, identifying areas for acceleration or for intervention, and track and monitor student learning. A new system is just going in at the high school this year called STAR Assessments, which will track and monitor kids. We have at the earlier grade levels, we're using iReady, and it's tremendous data for the teachers. It's Claire. Okay, Claire. She gets so excited when all of these come in. So would you have any of those?
So I think you said it actually really well, unless you have questions, but we use data to inform our instruction. So at the beginning of the year, students take a diagnostic assessment, and we look at the results. We see where the students are and where they need to grow as a district, as an individual school, as an individual class, or down to the students, and we can group students based on student need. And so we can really inform and tailor instruction based on that need, and then we can see the growth throughout the year. And so we've been making growth, and we continue to accelerate.
Can I ask a quick question? Just curious, because I actually don't know the answer to this. Has there been a study that's looking to align STAR to RICAS or the MCAS to know whether or not what students are growing?
So we actually use iReady. That's
okay, so I'm saying
for
to the SAT.
But for the SAT,
Yes, right.
so STAR is aligned to the SAT, and we actually can pull up a report, and Dr. Burns and I were looking at it the other day, and so the students took the initial diagnostic assessment, and sure enough, we could run a report that has shows us where they would fall on the SAT and what we would need to do to intervene.
And the same, so I assume they're the same thing with iReady, same
Absolutely.
concept. Okay. Thank you.
So within safe supportive schools, there are a couple of major push, and the positive behavioral frameworks. I mean, it's no secret, there's discipline problems and kids struggling. And we really, just to simplify it, need to get everybody to play nicely in the sandbox. So there are a number of programs that we have it, consistency, expectations, and supports, going from grade level to grade level, school to school, building upon each other over the years. I also cannot say enough good things about our deans of students, because they have been able to, and again, I don't want to use the word discipline, behavior, positive behavior. You know, they have been able to really connect with the kids, to be a liaison with the kid to the social support services, to guidance services, to the families. So it's just to have that professional with the eyes on the student, and especially the struggling students. I mean, when we had just two administrators, the principal and vice principal, and you know, obviously the social services group, there were so many things that were coming up so fast, so fast, so fast. This has just given everybody room to breathe and to think and to focus and to support. And again, I just, at some point, if you want to go through the data, you know, just the positive impact that our deans have had, and of course, all of our administrators, it's just been so useful for all of us. The other piece is Dr. Burns mentioned around chronic absenteeism, which is not just a North Smithfield, it's a state and national issue. Again, with the deans of students who have been able to assist with attendance. And again, those connections, because a lot of times, you know, behavior connects to attendance. And so that person is at the center. But there's also more space and ability to identify the kids who are chronically absent, to go to the root of why they're absent, and to start putting in the plans and the supports to get them into school, to help the families get them into school. So, you know, with the work that the administration and the deans have been doing, every school has had a decrease in suspension and a decrease in chronic absenteeism. So it's been effective. Are we there all the way yet? No. But the work they've been doing is amazing, and we're just going to continue it. For the quality staff section, I mean, again, yeah, that's, our teachers are the lifeblood of education. And so there are many initiatives put into.
So we offer a variety of opportunities for our teachers to learn and grow together. And so throughout the school year, we do have 3 full professional development days. We've had 2 so far this year. We've had a menu of sessions, teachers that have been able to tailor their day to their needs and what they're teaching and their goals for themselves. And we've had some themes, and some of it is similar to the other goals that you'll see, but it's using data to inform instruction. I know at the high school with the STAR assessment, there were 2 full days analyzing data to use STAR to inform the instruction. We've also had like a theme to our professional development days this year, and it's utilizing practices that enhance student achievement. And it's as simple as that. what practices maximize student achievement? What does the research tell us? What are the research-based practices and how are we implementing them in the classroom? And so we've also have book studies that are happening throughout the district, professional learning communities. We actually have a community of practice day coming up, which I was going to mention that was on my list today to invite the school committee, anyone who would like to attend. It's a full day. We tour classrooms K through 12. We do it with all of our new teachers to the district, but we also have days where we can have our veteran teachers participate. We have 2 days coming up, October 8th and October 9th. If you are interested, feel free to send me an email and I would love to have you participate in that. And I know a few of you have already, and it really is a celebration of teaching and learning. It's really great conversation. And I think it's a nice way to introduce new teachers to our district to show what our expectation is and what teaching and learning looks like in North Smithfield. So I would love to see you.
So number 4, communication and community engagement. So we like to think of ourselves not as a budgetary burden on the community, but a tremendous resource that can enrich the community and improve the community and the lives of everyone here. We have been doing a lot of work to engage our families and to get information out. And I know, Terry, before you came on board, you know, you were on my phone or in the email and saying, parents need to know this. You have been heard. So, you know, through the emails, newsletters, social media, and the use of our facilities for school and community events, the Great Pumpkin Festival. It was raining, but it was fun. Our concerts that we put on, there are things that we want the community to come in and use our schools, our facilities, and so we can give back. From the stakeholder input, it's getting a lot of information from the students. Dr. Burns had mentioned a lot of Kyle cares is student voice. You know, so the student voice is important. The families, the parent voice is important. In fact, we were just talking about putting out a poll to parents and just asking them about how friendly is your school? You know, when you call on the phone, do you get a friendly voice? You know, what is the atmosphere when you come into the building? So again, we want to engage our families, and if things come up during the process, we will make improvements. Likewise, we have SurveyWorks, which is a tremendous resource, which is, you know, surveying our teachers, our support staff, our families, our students, and we use that information to improve our practices, our programs, you know, based on the perception of the people we're actually here serving. Along with booster organizations, our school improvement teams, school committee, and just being accessible to the community. And then finally, under community involvement, you know, we have great relationships with our PTO, various community partnerships. I mean, the NSAA has been fantastic for athletics, the Historical Association, Heritage Association. They come in and they work with our students and our teachers and put some marvelous demonstrations in place. We have connections with the public library and, of course, multiple school events that we bring the community into. And then the last section is the responsive operations and facilities. And this, we talked about this over the summer at the end of last year, that this is going to be a year-long push for updating our policies and procedures.
I will say, I noticed quite a few in there.
And you should be grateful, and I'm not grateful, but for those of you who will not be on the school committee into next year, okay, no fist bumps, that's not allowed.
They're grateful.
We have so many queued up for you, so many.
Anytime after December, you can bring up the
That's
controversy.
what I thought.
I got, I got one comment. that's
Yeah,
all.
go ahead.
No, it's pretend, I'm almost hesitant to say, because I don't want to sound like we're ignoring them, but I just want to point out, like a group I try to get in touch with, and I know they, sometimes they like to be more involved in the field, the CLAC, our Special Education Local Advisory Committee, want to make sure they're,
List.
list. Yep, I don't
No,
see
no.
them there.
Were they?
I don't
There's
see
a
'em.
big CLAC section
Oh, I know.
in the strategic plan, yes.
Okay.
But any of these organizational groups, absolutely. And then for the facilities, again, we're just continuing warm, safe, dry, renovating and modernizing and doing a fantastic job of it, if I can say so myself.
I agree. Anybody have any questions?
Oh,
The cliffs look great.
go
I
ahead.
mean, they were falling apart. I was playing with them over the summer. They had huge cracks in them. The cliffs look great, so that's good.
The only thing I just want to add a little add-on is just an update on the PFAS. So
Yeah.
we met a couple of weeks ago with the Rhode Island Department of Health, and Terry and Jean were at the meeting. And so basically they laid out where we are, where we need to go, and what we need to do to get there. And so Lisa has been having an amazingly good time with the application for the grant, which is so technical that we're going to have to bring in some people to help fill it out. But we're very much on course. So we have the engineering has been approved, the testing is there. While that's in place, there will be a design which will be designed to remediate the levels of well number 2. At which point we have the grant will kick in, and there'll be an RFP, open RFP for engineering to come up with to build the solution that is recommended by the Department of Health based on all of the surveys and the designs and the plans that precede it.
Great, thank you.
I think it's important to get out there that no child is drinking or having access to
No.
unsafe water.
No, and I'm glad you mentioned that, because the well number 1, the old well, has very low levels. Well number 2, the newer well, has high levels. What's coming into the middle and the high school is mostly coming out of well number 1. All right, well number 1 can't fully serve the whole thing, but there is just enough that draws from well number 2, but diluted. It's a much, much lower level and considered absolutely safe.
Good.
We'll just keep us
Anything else?
updated. Just updates, yeah.
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 And superintendent, I mean, parents get notified all the time because I get
Quarterly
notified.
updates, yes.
So, thank you. Okay, and anybody, anything else? All right, moving on to item 4, this is informational, which is personnel resignations, retirements, leave of absences, and appointments. And then special extracurricular appointments. Anybody have any questions in regards to these, and coaching appointments?
Yeah.
I just want to say that school improvement teams have come such a long way. When I look at all the members that you have on your school improvement teams, it's
Mhm.
incredible. It used to be like, all right, we have to get like make sure we get a teacher in there, make sure we get it's not
Yeah.
like that anymore.
No, not at
Really
all.
impressive to see.
No,
Very
it is a true work group. And the initiatives that are coming out of the schools that actually, filter up to the district level are really driven by school improvement teams. And if I may, I just want to highlight Robert McAnulty. He's our new athletic director, and he has been phasing his way in, but he's phasing out of his other job. He should be with us full time pretty shortly. But I just want to read a couple of the qualifications this gentleman has. So He has a Bachelor of Science degree in Sports Entertainment and Event Management. He has a Master of Science in Education Sports Administration. He has completed 92 credits of leadership training courses from the National Interscholastic Athletic Administration Association. He holds 2 certifications from the so there's going to be a lot of acronyms in here. NIA, he has a certified Master Athletic Administrator and registered middle school athletic administrator. He's certified, he's a certified interscholastic coach through the National Federation of High Schools, and he's accredited in 7 sports. He has a MIAA leadership training at the MIA Institute with training to conduct workshops for student athletes and coaches based on MIA 5 pillars of the educational athletics, which is sportsmanship, wellness, leadership, community service, and coach education. He has completed the NIAA leadership training course for student leadership development so that students can be better, for coaches to be better prepared to teach student athletes how to be successful leaders. He's also certified as an American Red Cross First Aid, CPR, AED instructor, and also MIAA and FHS, Federation of High Schools, fundamentals of coaching instructor to help train coaches support the mission of educational athletics. So he was actually he ran the coach induction program training. He did coach induction training for the Massachusetts Interscholastic League. So he comes to us with so much experience, not just academic, but he's also been a coach. He's been an athletic director, and he's just a very impressive gentleman and really student focused. In fact, I'll say personally, meeting him the first time, he's kind of a gentle giant. He's about 6'5" with a large Viking beard, fits really well into the whole Northman aesthetic. And, I was walking him around and introducing him to people, and he was absorbing and kind of quiet. We were leaving the high school, coming into the middle school, and there was a whole group of students coming in. And so we stood there and I held the door for the students who were coming in. And then this quiet man who was just absorbing everything, he lit up. He saw a kid he knew, plays on his son's baseball team. And he became a different person. He was just just so happy to see him. And the kid was, you're here, so it was just, he's going to be very good. So that's my little introduction to him. Thank you.
Great.
Lisa, moving on to item 5. Anything new? Great, thank you. And then there's no further business. I'll entertain a motion to adjourn in memory of Joseph A. Rossi.
So
Motion's been made. Is there a second?
Second.
Second. All in favor? Aye. All opposed? The ayes have it. We're adjourned.